Imagine this for a moment. It is a Tuesday morning. You walk to your kitchen, you pour yourself a cup of coffee, you sit down and open your banking app on your phone, or maybe you log onto your computer just to check your balance. And something is wrong. Your Social Security deposit is not there. It is not pending. It is not delayed. It is simply missing. Your rent is due in 5 days. Your prescription refill is coming up this week. Your electric bill just hit your mailbox yesterday. So you do what you have always done. You pick up the phone and call your local Social Security office. And no one answers. You try again. You are on hold for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. And then you hear a recorded message that says your local office is temporarily closed to in-person visits. No walk-ins. Phone assistance only. And the phone just rings and rings. Now your heart is pounding. Your hands feel cold. And a single terrifying question starts forming in your mind. Did they cut off my benefits? If this sounds like a nightmare, I need you to hear me right now. For thousands of seniors across this country, this is not a hypothetical scenario. This is what is happening right now, today, in 2026. And if you do not take the 3 steps I'm about to share with you in this video, you could be next. I am Miyu. I am a senior policy analyst and retirement finance researcher. I have spent years studying Social Security rules, pension laws, and the regulations that affect every single retiree in America. And I make these videos for one reason, so that you, the person who worked 30, 40, maybe 50 years and earned every single dollar of your benefits, never get blindsided by a rule change you didn't see coming. In the next few minutes, I am going to explain to you exactly what is happening inside the Social Security Administration right now. I am going to tell you which offices are closed, why 7,000 workers are gone, and what new rules were put in place that could freeze you out of your own money if you are not prepared. And then I'm going to give you 3 specific actions. 3 things you can do this week, some of them today, to make sure your benefits are protected. But I also need to warn you about something. There is one mistake, one very common assumption that millions of seniors are making right now, and this mistake can cost you half of your monthly check. Not someday, not theoretically. Right now, under the current rules on the books. I will explain that mistake later in this video, so please stay with me until the end. Let us start with what is actually happening. On February 28, 2025, the Social Security Administration published an official announcement on its website. The title was, Social Security Announces Workforce and Organization Plans. And in that announcement, the agency confirmed something that sent shockwaves through the retirement community. The SSA set a staffing target of 50,000 employees, down from approximately 57,000. That is a reduction of roughly 7,000 workers, 12% of the entire workforce. Gone. Now, the agency said these reductions would come through a combination of methods: voluntary buyouts, early retirement offers, natural attrition, meaning people who leave or retire and simply are not replaced, and if needed, what they called reduction in force actions, which is the government's term for layoffs. According to AARP, 2,500 workers accepted voluntary separation payments of $15,000 to $25,000 to leave the agency. And here's the part that matters most to you. Of those 2,500 workers who left, nearly 2,000 of them, about 80%, worked in field offices, the exact offices where you and I walk in to get help with our benefits. AARP investigated further and found that 40 field offices across the country lost at least 25% of their staff. 11 offices lost a third or more. And 3 offices, in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, Nevada, Missouri, and Alexandria, Minnesota, lost at least half their workers. Let me say that again, half. On top of that, the SSA restructured its entire regional system. They went from 10 regional offices down to 4. 10 regions became 4. That means less oversight, less local support, and less infrastructure to catch problems before they reach your mailbox or your bank account. Now, what does this actually look like on the ground? What does it mean for you when you need help? As of right now, April 2026, the Social Security Administration's own website, their official office closings and emergencies page, lists offices across multiple states that are either completely closed to walk-in service or operating on phone-only assistance. Let me read you the list. This comes directly from SSA.gov. In Arizona, the Yuma office has been phone only since March 23rd and will not resume in person service until at least May 8th. In Florida, the Fort Walton Beach office is phone only until further notice. No reopening date has been given. In Hawaii, the Wailuku office is phone only from April 13th through May 8th. In Iowa, the Decorah office is phone only until further notice. In Maryland, the Silver Spring office is phone only until further notice, with very limited in person service available only by appointment. In Michigan, the Detroit College Park office is phone only until further notice. In Montana, the Glasgow office is phone only from April 28th through the 30th, and the Havre office is phone only until further notice. In Pennsylvania, the Bloomsburg office is phone only until further notice. And in West Virginia, the Logan office is phone only until further notice. Did you catch how many of those said until further notice? That means there is no date on the calendar for when that door opens again. Nobody knows. And these are not big city offices with 3 alternatives within a 20-minute drive. Many of these are in rural areas, small towns, places where the nearest open Social Security office might be 45 miles away or more. A report cited by AARP found that 6 million Social Security beneficiaries already live more than 45 miles from the nearest field office. 6 million Americans. And now some of those offices are shutting their doors. Now let me tell you about Robert. Robert is 67 years old. He retired last year after working in construction for over 4 decades. Tough work, honest work. And Robert did most things right. He filed for his Social Security retirement benefits. He had his payments going straight into his bank account by direct deposit. He was getting about $2,000 a month, right around the national average. Then, in early 2026, Robert's small local bank merged with a larger bank. It happens all the time, right? But here's the thing. When the merger went through, Robert's account number changed. His old account was closed. His new account had a different routing number. Robert knew he needed to update his direct deposit information with Social Security. He had done it once before, years ago, over the phone. Took about 10 minutes. No big deal. So he called the Social Security office. And that is where Robert's problems began. You see, what Robert did not know is that the rules changed. Effective April 14th, 2025, the Social Security Administration put in place new identity proofing requirements. Under these new rules, if you need to change your direct deposit information, you can no longer just call up and do it over the phone the old way. Now, you have 3 options. Option 1, you can change it online using your personal My Social Security account at SSA.gov. Option 2, you can call the 800 number, but first you have to go to SSA.gov PIN and generate a one-time security code. And to generate that code, you need to be signed into your My Social Security account. Option 3, you can go to your local Social Security office in person, show your ID, and make the change face-to-face. Robert did not have a My Social Security account. He had never set one up. He is not very comfortable with computers, so option 1 and option 2 were off the table for him. That left option 3, go to the office in person. But Robert lives in a rural part of his state, and when he drove 35 minutes to his nearest Social Security office, he found a sign on the door, closed to in-person visits, phone assistance only, until further notice. So Robert called the national 800 number. Now, to be fair, the wait times have improved. SSA reports that as of March 2026, the average wait to speak to someone on the 800 number is about 7 minutes. That is actually much better than it was a year ago, when it was averaging 20 minutes. But here's the problem. The representative on the phone told Robert the same thing. Without a My Social Security account and without the ability to generate a one-time PIN code online, they could not process his direct deposit change over the phone. He would need to visit a field office in person. Robert explained that his local office was closed. The representative suggested he find the next nearest open office using the SSA office locator at SSA.gov locator. Robert did that. The next nearest office was 62 miles away, and it required an appointment. The earliest available appointment? 3.5 weeks out. Meanwhile, Robert's next Social Security payment hit his old account, the one that no longer existed. The payment bounced, and Robert did not receive his check that month. He eventually got it sorted out. It took almost 6 weeks. But for 6 weeks, Robert, a 67-year-old retiree with no other income, had no Social Security payment. He had to borrow money from his daughter to cover his rent and his medication. And here's what makes me upset about Robert's story. This was completely avoidable. If Robert had set up his My Social Security account before the crisis hit, he could have changed his direct deposit online in about 5 minutes. From his kitchen table, on a Tuesday morning with his coffee. Robert did not make a big mistake, he made a small one. He waited. He assumed the old way of doing things would always be there. And by the time he needed it, it was gone. Now, I want to pause here because I made you a promise earlier. I said there was one mistake, one very common assumption that could cost you half your monthly check. And I need to explain it to you now. This is about overpayments. Here is what happens. Sometimes the Social Security Administration sends you more money than you were technically eligible to receive. This can happen for a lot of reasons. Maybe your income changed and you didn't report it in time. Maybe your marital status changed. Maybe, and this happens more often than you would think, the SSA itself made a calculation error on their end. When this happens, you will eventually receive a letter in the mail. An overpayment notice? It will say that Social Security overpaid you by a certain amount and that you owe the money back. Now, most seniors I talk to assume the same thing. They think, okay, they will just deduct a little bit from each check until it is paid off, maybe 10%. That is what the old rule was, 10% of your monthly benefit. But that rule changed. Effective April 25th, 2025, the SSA set a new default withholding rate. And it is not 10%, it is 50%. Let me make sure you heard that. If you receive an overpayment notice and you do not respond within 30 days, Social Security will automatically begin withholding 50% of your monthly benefit every single month until the full overpayment is recovered. The average monthly retirement benefit right now is about $2,022. 50% of that is over $1,000 gone from your check every month. Can you imagine? You are used to receiving $2,000 and suddenly you are getting $1,000 with the same rent, the same grocery bill, the same prescriptions. Now, I am not telling you this to scare you. I am telling you this because there is something you can do about it. And it is actually not that complicated. But you have to act quickly. If you get an overpayment notice, you have 30 days from the date on that notice to respond. And you have several options. First, you can pay the money back if you have the funds and you agree you were overpaid. Second, you can request a lower repayment rate. If 50% is too much, you can contact SSA and ask them to reduce it based on financial hardship. You have the right to do that. Third, and this is the one most people do not know about, you can file for a waiver. The form is called SSA 632BK. The full name is Request for Waiver of Overpayment Recovery. If the overpayment was not your fault, or if paying it back would cause you financial hardship, you can ask the SSA to forgive the overpayment entirely. And here's the critical part. If you file that waiver within 30 days of the notice, SSA is required to stop all collection activity until they make a decision on your request. They cannot take a penny from your check while they are reviewing your waiver. Fourth, if you believe the overpayment amount is wrong or that you were never actually overpaid, you can file an appeal using Form SSA 561. The point is this: you have rights, but those rights have a clock on them, 30 days. If you let that 30 days pass without doing anything, the 50% withholding starts automatically. No warning, no second notice. It just starts. So please, if you get any letter from the Social Security Administration, do not put it in a pile. Do not wait until next week. Open it that day. Now, let me also tell you something that is very important right now, because I am hearing about it more and more. Scammers are having a field day with all of this confusion. When offices are closing, when rules are changing, when people are scared, that is exactly when the scam artists come out of the woodwork. They call you on the phone pretending to be from the Social Security Administration. They send you text messages. They send emails that look official. And they say things like, your benefits have been suspended. You need to verify your identity immediately. Press 1 or click this link. I need you to remember one thing. The Social Security Administration has confirmed this publicly and clearly on their website. They said, and I quote, Social Security will never contact you by a text message to provide or confirm information about your identity. Never. If you get a text claiming to be from Social Security, it is a scam. Period. Delete it. Do not respond. Do not click anything. And if you get a phone call from someone claiming to be SSA and they are pressuring you, asking for your social security number, asking for your bank information, asking you to pay a fee to keep your benefits active, hang up. That is not how the real SSA operates. If you are ever in doubt, hang up and call the real SSA number yourself. That number is 1-800-772-1213, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. your local time. All right? We have covered a lot of ground, and I know this can feel overwhelming. So let me now give you the 3 things I promised you. 3 actions, simple, concrete. Things you can do this week to protect yourself. Action number 1. Create your My Social Security account today. I cannot stress this enough. This is the single most important thing you can do right now to protect your benefits. Go to SA.gov My Account. You can create a free account using either Login.gov or ID.me. These are secure, government-approved credential services. Once you have this account, you can do almost everything online. You can check your benefit statements. You can download your tax forms. You can change your direct deposit information. You can check the status of any application or appeal. And you can generate the one-time PIN code at SA.gov PIN that lets you make direct deposit changes over the phone if you ever need to. Once your account is set up, you never need to prove your identity in person again for routine transactions. You are in control. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from your own home. Now, if you are not comfortable doing this alone, ask a trusted family member, a son, a daughter, a grandchild, a neighbor you trust, to sit with you and walk through it together. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes, and it could save you from weeks of headaches down the road. If Robert had done this one thing before his bank merger, his entire crisis would never have happened. Action number 2. Check if your local Social Security office is open before you go. Do not assume your office is open just because it was open last month. Things are changing week to week right now. Before you get in your car, before you take a bus, before you ask someone for a ride, go to ssa.gov/agency/emergency. That is the SSA's official office closings and emergencies page. It is updated in real time. You can find your state and see exactly which offices are open, which are phone only, and which are temporarily closed. And here is a tip. On that same page, next to every state name, there is a subscribe link. Click it. It will sign you up for email alerts through a service called GovDelivery. Whenever your state has an office closure or service disruption, you will get an email notification automatically. You do not have to keep checking the website. The alerts come to you. If your local office is closed, use the SSA office locator at ssa.gov/locator to find the nearest open office. And please, always call ahead and schedule an appointment before you go. SSA's own data shows that customers with an appointment wait an average of about 6 minutes. Without an appointment, you could be sitting there for a very long time, or you could be turned away entirely. Action number 3. If you receive an overpayment notice, respond immediately. I know I already covered this, but it is so important that I need to say it again in this action step. If a letter arrives from the Social Security Administration saying you were overpaid, you have 30 days to act. That is 30 days from the date printed on the notice, not 30 days from when you open it. So do not let mail pile up. Within those 30 days, decide your course of action. If you agree with the overpayment and can afford to pay it back, arrange repayment. If you cannot afford 50% of your check being withheld, call SSA and request a lower repayment rate. If you believe the overpayment was not your fault, or if repaying it would create serious financial hardship, file Form SSA 632BK, Request for Waiver of Overpayment Recovery. You can download this form at ssa.gov forms SSA 632.html, and you can now submit it online through your My Social Security account. And if you believe the overpayment amount itself is wrong, or that you were not actually overpaid at all, file Form SSA 561, Request for Reconsideration. The most important thing is that you file something within those 30 days, because the moment you do, collection is paused. SSA cannot withhold a single dollar from your benefit while they review your request. That 30-day window is your shield. Use it. Now, before I wrap up, let me give you a few numbers to write down or save. These are official contact numbers and websites that every senior in America should have posted on their refrigerator or saved in their phone. The SSA National 800 number is 1 800 772 123. That is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. your local time. Automated services are available 24 hours a day. If you are deaf or hard of hearing and use TTY equipment, the number is 1 800 325 0778. To create your My Social Security account, go to ssa.gov My Account. To check office closures, go to ssa.gov Agency Kosh Emergency. To find your nearest open office, go to ssa.gov Locator. To learn about the new identity verification rules, go to ssa.gov News ITN Identity Proofing HTML. To generate your one-time PIN for phone-based direct deposit changes, go to ssa.gov PIN. To learn about overpayment rights and download the waiver form, go to ssa.gov Manage Benefits Resolve Overpayment. Every one of these links will be in the description below this video. You do not need to memorize them, just scroll down and click. Now, I want to close with something personal. I know how stressful this is. I talk to seniors every single day who feel like the ground is shifting under their feet. Rules they understood for decades are changing. Offices they relied on are closing. Phone calls that used to take 10 minutes now take hours. And there is this constant low-level anxiety that maybe, just maybe, something will fall through the cracks and your payment will not be there when you need it. I hear you. And I want you to know that feeling is valid. You are not being dramatic. You are not overreacting. The system is going through real significant changes right now, and it is perfectly reasonable to be concerned. But here is what I also want you to know. You are not powerless. The 3 steps I just gave you, creating your online account, checking your office status, and responding to notices immediately, these 3 steps put you back in the driver's seat. They take the uncertainty out of the equation. They give you control, and you deserve that control. You earned it. Every paycheck that had Social Security taxes taken out of it for all those years, that was you investing in a promise. And that promise is not gone. The money is still there. The benefits are still yours, but the way you access and protect those benefits is changing, and you need to change with it. Now, one last thing, and this is very important. I make these videos to help you, but I can only help you if you see them. And the truth is, YouTube's algorithm does not always show you my videos when they come out. You might miss one. And in a situation like this, where rules are changing fast and offices are closing without much warning, missing one update could mean missing something that directly affects your money. That is why I have set up something outside of YouTube. I've created the Global Senior Alerts official WhatsApp channel. It is a free channel where I send real-time alerts about Social Security changes, pension updates, bank rule changes, insurance policy updates, and travel regulations that affect seniors. When you join, you will also be able to download a free guide I put together called the Senior Benefits Protection Guide. It walks you through everything we covered today, plus additional steps for protecting your Medicare, your pension, and your bank accounts. The link to join is in the description below this video. It is completely free. You just click it and join the channel. And from that point forward, whenever something changes that affects your benefits, you will hear about it from me directly. Not through the algorithm, not through the news 3 days late. Directly, in real time. Please do that now. Because the next change, the next office closure, the next rule update, it could affect your state, your office, your check. And I do not want you to find out the hard way. If this video helped you, please hit the like button. It tells YouTube to show this video to more seniors who need to see it. And share it. Send it to your spouse. Send it to your friends at church. Send it to your neighbor. Send it to anyone you know who relies on Social Security. Because the people who need this information the most are often the people who are least likely to find it on their own. Thank you for watching. I am Miyu, and I will keep fighting to make sure you have the facts you need to protect what you have earned. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. End of script.